Come on, Ian, man. Come on. Are we live? People deluded, I'm back again. First things first, in honor of last week, is a better weekend for us people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night to all my people out there whose teams got 3 points yesterday. 3 points is back in full effect. Whatever people say, it is about 3 points. We're going to dissect and talk about individuals and things like that. Smash the like button, let me know your thoughts. We do have to move quickly through this, people, purely because we are doing a watch along for Crystal Palace, Manchester City. And when it's all said and done, Arsenal got 3 points, at least until Manchester City play. The 5 point gap, allegedly, because I don't look at the league table, is still there. Now, it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. First things first, we have to talk about the positives. You know, I do feel as Arsenal fans, and this ain't a cop-out, we're going to talk about the negatives. I do think we are a bit spoiled because in life, nobody owes you anything. When you look at the cold-hearted data and considering, started the season relatively well, picked up some points. There's been injuries, all that jazz. We've been getting 3 points, disappointing, and don't get it twisted, isolated to many a 90 minutes where we've dropped points. Regardless of what people say about injuries and this and that, I've believed each and every time there is enough in that squad or in that team at any given moment to get more. Sunderland comes to mind, 50 minutes away from getting all 3 points. We all know how the game went. By the end of the day, one of the best defensive sides, which slipped off defensively, was 15 minutes away from grabbing 3 points regardless. You know, we was not amazing against Wolves, one of our poorest performances, but we still got 3 points. We were better against Sunderland, but we had to share the spoils, which in life, you don't get everything. So when you consider the journey we're on, the players injured, the players coming back, the positives, the negatives, and everything in between, we've got a good foundation. Now, obviously, at some point, you're not going to get the rub of the green, specifically in terms of 3 points. What we saw yesterday against Wolves, I personally believe over a 38-game calendar, you got about 5 of those performances in you. You just get the 3 points to keep it moving. And I hate to say I told you lot so, and I'm with you lot. I wanted 3s and 4s. Clearly, the performance and the goal scoring and everything, we all wanted a bit more. But I told you it wasn't going to be that. You knew how Wolves were going to set up. You know their own situation. You know they're going to up their performance. This is no excuses because regardless, we should have been slaughtering them. But there was that. And I do think Arteta has problems breaking down low blocks. This isn't something new this season. It was there last year, yeah. But I think people are also being a bit dishonest. Benjamin White's injury kind of flipped the script. Again, no excuses, because regardless, we should have won by a lot more. I'm almost behaving like we lost. But I did like, on paper, what looked like Timber at left back. We were playing a back three. White's getting into some pockets. Timber's actually contributing all phases of play. So, yeah, when it's all said and done, we take the 3 points. Took an hour to have a shot on target. Not good enough. We spent a lot of money on this front line, Gaffer, Spent a lot of money. And if I cast my mind back to the summer period, and this isn't a criticism, but I did feel it's all fun and games talking about bringing in Eze and Gyökeres and at the time Rodrigo or whatever. There's needed to be some improvement in the final third. Clearly, there's been injuries, players haven't been fit, all of that kind of stuff, but there should still be a level of consistency. Same way there is with other, things that we do on a football pitch. Let's be honest. Defensively, we're missing Gabriel Magalhaes. Listen, big up everyone. Hincapié, I like you. Second time in a week now, you're playing everybody on side from goals. That tells me that no one's being the big bro at this moment in time defensively. Anyone that's played Sunday League, there's always someone that's doing that kind of thing. We'll get onto it, yeah. But side note, Raya trusts his teammates a lot because I was watching the game again. Some of the passes, yeah, it's not, it's one of them. When Raya gives you the ball sometimes, you pass it on to a teammate. You definitely tell Raya, stop doing that like he's mad. On the topic of trusting your teammates, we'll definitely get into Gyökeres. But yeah, man, to not have a shot on target for an hour, obviously to not penetrate Wolves and things of that ilk earlier. And again, when you remove the romance between the last minute winner and things of that ilk, it weren't good enough, was it? Like, it just wasn't good enough from Mikel Arteta, from the players. I actually like the fact that Mikel Arteta was very critical of the performance. He didn't do that diplomatic stuff. He was quite disappointed. So, yeah, man, we'll get on to some other stuff. But you lot are the main stars, man. This guy was rolling around on the floor like they won the quad. Sorry, if you loved Arsenal Football Club as much as I do, you would do the same. And I'm not being funny. Did you see that 90 minutes? Did you see the 90 minutes? Like, we've conceded in minute 90, then we've grabbed the goal, we've scored, but we've not scored. This It's a Banduli performance, but we can do it both ways when it's not in life. You have to look at your team and yourself. Like, how can you get results in life when things aren't going to plan? And we grabbed 3 points, man, but the performance was lackluster. It was uninspiring. Nobody really shined, as a collective individually and whatnot. Obviously, Saka did his thing and there was some standout performances, but just bad day at the office. But if I'm saying it's a bad day at the office and we grab 3 points, it does put things into perspective. But we got the rub of the green. Make no mistake. Make no mistake. If you play like that away at Everton, it's long. We know what David Moyes is on, anyways. If you play like that next week, it's long. We have, yesterday we're just happy to get the 3 points. Today, the diagnosis, I'd imagine, with Mikel Arteta and the players, serious tactical analysis. And when I look at this run of games now that we've had, or we're coming out of now, because we're playing a week, well, just under a week. We're playing Saturday next week against Everton. We just need to take the good, the bad, and the ugly, cherish the fact that there isn't a midweek fixture, and put in a significantly better performance. Because even this week, it was 2 games in a week on top of everything we're talking about. So, yeah, man, on one hand, we've seen when we're not quite at it, we've got 3 points. We know we need to do better. We cannot have performances like that on a consistent basis. We got out of jail. And considering last week against Aston Villa, it was quite great. And all those media outlets that were zooming in on my players when they conceded against Aston Villa, I think you need to actually give us the same energy and show how we reacted when we actually obviously scored the winner. And naturally, respectfully to Wolves, what Arsenal did or didn't do and the many talking points is going to overshadow it. Again, it's not going to help Wolves, because if they play like that 9 times out of 10, they might get more results. But playing well doesn't always correlate to 3 points. I actually feel there was pride in the shirt, I guess, for once. Not watching Wolves week in, week out, but it is that cliche thing. If I take yesterday as a case study, why are you lot in the situation you are? I did think you grew in confidence when you conceded. You still tried to get a goal. You limited us for the majority of the first half in particular to low-level quality efforts, if I'm completely honest with you. Sam Johnson, probably because you lot were doing well from set pieces, I think it took us like 8-9 corners, probably led to his demise, man, because he made a mess of the goal, obviously, the first one. And I thought Jesus scored the second, but yeah, man, we had some half chances. And for my players individually, Martinelli, you had some half. Again, I'm not happy with the collective chance creation, but first off, Martinelli had some where he should have done better. Gyökeres, you had a couple. We'll get on to Gyökeres. I don't think they're hitting you early enough. I don't feel your teammates fully trust you. And we'll get on to Gyökeres, people. We'll get on to Gyökeres, man. Fuck it. Should we just do it? Should we just do it now? I was actually going to make a separate video about this, but should we just do it now? The first thing I would say, yeah, and we'll be here all day with Victor Gyökeres. I can't speak for nobody else. I'm purely speaking for myself. They're going to behave like you're the only footballer that was out there and all of these kind of things. But for me, and I come in peace as Arsenal fans, Gyökeres, I was backing this in the summer, I was backing this. I was backing this. The move, the goals you scored. Again, the goals you scored, the way you did the whole talking points around signing for our football club, the whole drama with that. Again, the one thing I liked about you is you're not an Arsenal striker, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. You're a bulldozer. You're my bulldozer. I thought we was going to be doing this at least 10 times, 12 times by now this season. I thought surely. I knew he was buying a bulldozer. We weren't buying a pretty footballer. That was something I liked about that, because I do think Mikel Arteta gets too many of the players that fit his system. Gyökeres doesn't do that, so it does force you to change. We're claiming we want to be different, so we're doing different things. So I knew you weren't beautiful to watch on a football pitch, yeah. And I do think we're not finding you quick enough. Just when you was getting a bit of fluidity, you got injured. The very fact that that's 2 starts in a long period of time for you. All of these things, all of these luxuries I'll give you, yeah. And Arteta even says we need to hit you faster. But when I looked at you in the summer, I told people it's not going to be pretty, but it could be so ugly, it's beautiful. If you're looking for good football and all of that stuff, you've got Bukayo, you've got Jesus, you've got Trossard even, you've got Eze. He's not here for that. He's not here for that. It's so ugly, it's beautiful. Just bulldoze your way into getting goals. I'm seeing someone that looks a shadow of their former self, confidence-wise, and I don't want to see that. I know you've got a strong mentality. You've bounced back. You've proved doubters wrong all of the time, but I thought minimum you was going to be a limited savage in that box. That cool, you lot, if you're not hitting me the ball, give me the ball quicker. I'm not seeing you demanding enough. I'm seeing you fighting and all that. But I think I keep saying this, I think you're being too kind now. You have just signed for the football club. Whatever people say, you're like 6 months into a 4 or 5 year deal, assuming you fulfill that contract. I just need a bit more, man. I don't want to be that guy. And I'm not saying players don't want to find you and things, but they're looking for Marino a bit quicker. They're looking for several other players. So have you anyone that's played Sunday League? Have you earned their trust? Have you earned your teammates' trust? Not in training, in the matches. And if you ain't earned their trust, earned their respect, demand that ball. Demand that. Even if you miss a million chances, demand it again and again. Because I see Saka do it. I see Lewis Skelly do it. I see many a footballer do it at this football club. And even if worse comes to worse, Gyökeres, are you really telling me? And big up Kai Havertz and Marino. We're gonna get onto the broader talking point in a sec. But if I'm Gyökeres or if I'm Kai Havertz and I'm Mikel Marino and we're looking at, or even Jesus, exclude Jesus for a sec, but those three, if I was any individual one, do you think you can be the top dog when up front when you compare your teammates? Probably. If you're Marino, you fancy it, you understand the system, you're doing your thing, people accept you for your limitations. When it's all said and done, Kai Havertz for the last couple of years has been our top goal scorer, or one of those, which is a problem in itself on one hand, but shows that there's strength in depth in another. Gyökeres, come on. Because again, we're not finding you quicker in. I do think your teammates benefit from you on a football pitch purely because you drag centre backs and you're selfless and all of that kind of stuff. And I hear that, and we all understand that that is needed from a striker in today's day and age. When you look at the fewest touches on the football field, it's not just him, it's also the Wolves, Strad Larson, at least in that first 30 minutes. That's Haaland's probably up there. You look at the systemic football, inverted this and overcrowded midfield, your strikers are not really going to see the ball. So I can cut you these luxuries. And I can demand more from your teammates and Mikel Arteta. But at the same time, as someone that wants you to thrive, you knew what time it was signing for this football club. So you're doing all the other stuff, which is also my point. You're doing all the other stuff, but we have man that can do that. It's going to work out for you, Gyökeres, man. And I will say this as well. The one thing I would say, and again, I am praising you for your other things without the ball, but the other hand, I know you can do that. I just want goals. When he comes off a football field, I saw it against Burnley. I did see it yesterday. In terms of managing game states, it's one of those that we need to find a way to do better because they're starting to creep forward. I think and again, one thing I liked about Arteta, and it's one where you wish you could be a fly on the walls, the goal we conceded. He's very critical of the team. Like, why were you lot so deep? Is it because they're tired? Did they make I don't know the word, but an executive decision? They said, I know what the manager's saying, but we're knackered. The temperature of the game, Wolves are on this. I don't know, man. But yeah, man, Gyökeres is going to work out. But right now, I can't lie. It's a squad player thing. It's a squad player thing. You're not one of the first names on the team sheet. It's you, Jesus, Marino, Kai Havertz. It's whatever we need to kind of do. You haven't broken into the Declan Rice, Saliba, big up Saliba for finding Saka for the second goal, I believe. That kind of player bracket. So it's a squad player. So you, Kai, Marino, you lot that can play up front, you're just tools to help us along this journey of winning the Premier League. And worst comes to worst, Gyökeres, it's a squad player thing, man. We need to get in the market in the summer because it's nothing to do with you, Gyökeres, and we're still backing you. But I'm impatient in terms of certain things around my football club on a pitch. As much as I love youth development, and you can hear my fair points and things like that. As much as I love that and all these things, I'm impatient, man. And I think I've earned that right. And you lot too to be impatient because we're very close to doing what we would like to do. So I don't really want to be on this persisting with things that are not working sort of thing. Because Gyökeres, you're my guy, but you're 27. It's not like you're 21. And hindsight's a wonderful thing, but Hugo Ekitike, we would have loved Isaac, but Hugo Ekitike is looking like the one in it, French striker, doing well, playing, like, doing his thing for Liverpool. Couple of the chances he takes, I'm thinking, but we need to find the next one. But I'm backing Gyökeres all the way, man. We've backed shitter footballers, man. Gyökeres, you're still my guy, but we just need a bit more. He's not alone, though. He's not alone. Again, big up Eze. I don't think we really should be talking about Eze, but I think he grew in the first half. I need a bit more from you. I'll just throw that one out there. I have to mention Bukayo Saka as well, because some of you wanted him dropped for that game. Yes, regardless of who went out there, we needed to play better, and it should have never went like that. But you lot can never, ever gaslight me when you lot say, and remember you lot were saying, oh, he doesn't find Gyökeres. Maybe. He knows it's not the time for that. You lot never talk bad on my star boy. Anytime. And you know what's annoying with Saka? Some of his most standout games, he doesn't get the goals and assists for these fickle twats that try and belittle him. But shout out to Bukayo, man. Hincapié, I prefer you at left back, man. I actually think you did well yesterday, apart from playing people on side. Maybe there's a lot of relationship building to be done there, but I like you, but you're a bit unorthodox in certain simple actions, man. But yeah, we bust case. We escaped to L. We escaped to mad L. And I don't want to be that guy, but all the subs off the bench did very well in their own ways. Big up the captain, because you lot are onto him all the time. Ian Wright is a national treasure. One beautiful. So shout out Uncle Ian, man. Terrell, appreciate you. No 3 points are guaranteed in this league, boys. 3 points and move, mate. And that's what we got to do. Thank the Lord that it didn't go how it probably should have warranted it to go, and do better. And it's funny, man, living in denial, papering over the cracks. You know what, Marcel, I'm going to believe you because when you lot were all giddy about all the signings you lot got in the summer and you was Bandulu in your first 5 games and you can only get better slots now, got his options and that. Boy, that was living in denial. You weren't trying to hear that. Remember, you went missing from this channel for like 2-3 months. Remember yourself, you know. You just got home again. Remember yourself. Don't try to act like you haven't been missing. There is worrying signs, man. We need to manage the game state better. We need to get back to those higher standards defensively. Individually, attackers need to make the difference. We need to do a lot more, man. Hit the like button, man. Marcel, tranquillo, man. As my man, the UK said, smash the likes. Appreciate you. I guess it was embarrassing, man. It was embarrassing by our standards. And Arteta was quite critical. Very, very, very critical of how we played, man. What else we got? Our last couple of games against Wolves have been weird, though, isn't it? Very weird. Because even a draw, I'd have been vexed. That would have been my first crash out of the season. I told you like this. I said it before the game. I think I was very fair to the football club. I actually just was saying my 3 points first, talk about the performance second. I did want goals and all of that. I said it wouldn't be as easy as it should be, regardless. If we never got those 3 points yesterday, so let's count our blessings. Because yesterday, and again, on one hand, I like the standards that we've all got because it does feel like a loss even when we've won. Sometimes when we've drawn, we need that until May, people. There's going to be many bumps and bruises, twists and turns. Whatever way we shape it without context, because some of you like to do that without context, the lead has been restored. We've got 2 wins this week. If Palace do a job, great. If not, City, it ticks over. You've got a week to be much better against Everton. And to the players, to the individual players, all of them, especially the more senior ones. And I'd actually say the midfield and the attackers, that defense needs carrying now. It needs carrying. You need to get us out over the line. Individual players, I need you to stand up to be counted. People can never talk nonsense about Bukayo. Time after time, for years upon years, he has put this team on his back, and it is so ugly, it's beautiful. That man needs a Premier League trophy or a trophy. And again, I want to mention as well, people, because some of you laughed at me for months and months and give up on this guy and give up on that guy and do all of this. And now I'm seeing some of you lot say, for the striker that you lot wanted, your Gyökeres sentiment is done. Now you want Gabriel Jesus. You mocked me for months. They always come back eventually. You think my Brazilian players are not going to stand up to be counted in a World Cup year? You're not listening when I say the stars are aligning. Brazil are winning the World Cup in 2026 and Arsenal is having a parade in 2026. Jesus is back. I'm not going to lie. I don't think he's ready to start because I don't want a reset of that injury. But from a footballing point of view, I've seen the Marino thing. I've seen the Kai thing. I've seen the Jesus thing. I've seen Gyökeres. The illogical football fan in me, he says start Jesus up front. The logical fan is saying, can he grab some left wing bursts? It's a Gyökeres thing, man. It's a Gyökeres thing. You bought a new toy. I have to see. It has to work. I'll tell you, it has to work. Because we can talk about Gyökeres' limitations as an individual player. Yeah, clearly not the prettiest of striker. But any striker probably we wouldn't have got the best out of them at this current rate or in this current system. There are some things that any striker has to accept. We're playing all the big teams. You're playing against low blocks. You're playing against 3 at the backs. Centre backs are going to occupy you. The wingers or the wide men are probably the attacking players that get the most kind of freedom, and that'll push the late runners from midfield. You do have to accept that. But clearly, if we had Isaac, it would work a bit better. But I do think there would still be these things. This is what I said at the start of this season, and that signing these players after the job. Gaffer's got to make it work, man. We can't be leaving games until the last 5 minutes. Facts. It's normal to have bad games and still win. During our invincible season, we struggled the same way with Leicester. We have to move. But we do have to want to improve, which I think we do. Like the simple truth of it is we got the 3 points. We need to do a lot better. It's done now. On to Everton. So yeah, man. Gabriel Jesus, what you lot say, man? Wolves' low block was satanic. Rob Edwards is a good manager. And why would they make it easy for us? It's not even a pressure thing. We've had weird performances a few times this season. Just have to find balance, which is hard because key players keep getting injured. True. But then, regardless of the context, I have felt like I've said the same things. The only luxury I'll give the team is Man United at the start of the season because first game, cool, you got the result. But yeah, man, you know what? We've got the points. Just keep it moving, man. Martinelli superb in the Champions League and then nothing in the EPL. Wolves deserve nothing. They're a terrible team. Glad we won and broke their hearts at the end. Right. He doesn't miss chances as he's never there. That Saka pass was golden. He couldn't get there. And again, going back to Mr. Gyökeres, you're right, because that's something that I skipped over. obviously in the Premier in Portugal, and we're having a proper conversation. He probably would have had enough time when Saka's obviously delivered it to move at the rate he did and get on the end of it. Prem, you got to do it 10 seconds quicker. So I do give you those luxuries. You are adapting, and there's all of those things. But to the things you can control, Gyökeres, need 10 times better. Because worst comes to worst, Gyökeres, I'll be real. I'd rather you get bantered about taking a million shots and one's going rose head, one's shanking wide because you're about. I know there's a savage in there. Remember who you are, man. Remember who you are, man. Because it breaks my heart to say, but nobody cares, man. No one cares that you've had injuries. Everyone's on to you. Everyone's unfair. This, that, and the third. No one cares, man. God don't give you more than you can handle, my guy. You got this, Gyökeres. You got this. It's Gyökeres FC to the world and back, man. Gyökeres is, hey, he's gonna be. It's gonna work. It's gonna work. But scout something though. Left wing up front, two centre mids. Defender for no reason. If you know, you know. Morning, people. What concerns me is Jesus done more last couple of games coming on than Gyökeres. You say that, but the one thing I'll give Gyökeres again is he's tiring out the opposition. And the end of these players are thriving. Don't get twisted. I don't really want to talk about that because you should be doing that anyways. General play anyways. All these other things anyways. And goals. So let's go, man. Lacks anticipation, movement, and awareness. It's not looking good. Should have gone for Ekitike or Sesko. At least they have fundamentals you can work with. It's true, but Sesko would have been rubby as well, man. Ekitike would have banged. Sesko would have been rubby. We just would have been changing the contexts. We still would have been crying about we're not creating and he's young and confidence and this and that. Don't get twisted. He's a lot cleaner. Gyökeres is definitely not the most beautiful footballer in terms of link-up play. And you're not Haaland, but you're going to have to be a poor man's Haaland. You're going to have to take a leaf out of his book. Fair play. Like Gabriel Jesus is a better footballer than Haaland. Haaland, movement, anticipation, athletic reach, running behind, intelligence. He's in a league of his own. The tools that he has to a world-class level. Obviously, that ain't going to be Gyökeres. But the limited tools you have, thrive with that. Because some man, you could argue, Gabriel Jesus has a wider range of tools, but he's never truly throughout his career got the best of them. So it's either that or nothing. And Mikel Arteta, I'll be real. Because I don't want to hear, oh, he might have wanted Ekitike, wanted Sesko. Come on, end of the day, we never got those players. It is what it is. Let it go. You bought Gyökeres. So at some point, you co-sign that. You know the player you're getting. You're getting a player that is a good player, but a very limited player that needs a lot of service. Now, I think I've been quite critical on Gyökeres and he needs to make his own goals and stuff. I'm just looking for it from a competence point of view. If I have a 6-foot striker and he's decent with a ball in the air, I'm going to, like with Marino, really, we're going to put the ball in the box on his head. If my striker's like Jermaine Defoe, more fox in the box, and he did score headers, to be fair, I'm more likely to pull it, on his feet. Sometimes you have to know your players, and even what Henry spoke about this, Longberg spoke about this as well. You have to know your teammates. Giroud. Why do you think them French players love Giroud? Giroud's obviously a good player, but they know if a player 1-2, he's not going to run in, he's not going to turn and dribble, he's going to run in behind. You have to know your teammates. Put it on the plate. I have seen some people try to bring you in Gyökeres. I think Eze and Odegaard in their things, they've tried to bust you. I think Ben White a couple of times yesterday tried to clip it over the top. But hey, you might need, you know what, the last agenda I've got left truthfully, Gyökeres. Kai Havertz get the best out of you. Kai Havertz in the Odegaard role, lump it long, yeah, running behind. Then it's you and God. Do I think this is going to happen? No, but trying people, man. Gyökeres is better than what we're seeing right now. The system is not good for real number 9s. He is better than what we're seeing right now. But are we ever going to get over the corner, man? Eze is our luxury player. You know what I'm going to say, people. Deluded, we're back again. Big up, DG. Appreciate you. It's just going to take some more time. I don't think we're anywhere near our full potential. Facts. But I can hear that. I can give us positives. I can tell people to calm down on certain things. But then we also can't deny what's in front of us. That's not me trying to be negative or positive. Just what did we do well? What have we done well? What have we done? What do we need to improve at? What have we lacked in? Put them on the board. Try and improve in that, like anyone would do in their life. Simple as that. There's plenty. There's a lot of things to learn from games we've won. Like yesterday, sometimes you lose and you there's not much for you to learn. Football's a weird game. Sometimes you lose when you don't deserve to. You win when you don't. You draw when you deserve more. At least There's yesterday. There's a lot for us to learn, but we won. I think there's plenty to learn from yesterday. The first half of Manchester City at home, the second half for Mikel Arteta, Liverpool away, definitely Sunderland. I'm probably missing out Chelsea away. There's United at home, even though the attacks are the first game of the season. If we look at the improvements or points of call in these games, we'll get better and better. So yeah, man. Serious questions need to be asked because that was pathetic. I can't lie. I think it's more on the players, man. If I'm honest with you, yesterday, Arteta for the tactics in that, but I think we was making too many basic. Again, I think I've spoken enough about the manager, but for the players, I think we made it. Obviously, we made it harder than it needed to be for no reason. I think the basic defensive habits were not there. Basic things in the final third were not there. Again, exclude Bukayo in particular. Not everyone was terrible, but I'm speaking from a collective point of view. Needed a bit more. Needed a lot more. You guys are top of the league, probably the best team in England. What's the problem? You can't win every game. I hear it. Sesko is cheats. Let's not do the comp. These man, the striker market's tired, man. But I think Hugo would have been a good fit for us. But we would have been probably saying the same things. It's not right off Gyökeres yet, though, man. But kind of bored of just making this about Gyökeres. Eze, I need a bit more as well, man. I need a bit more, man. You're a quality player, but I need to go up a couple decibels. All my attackers, really. Martinelli, poor yesterday. I think he was the poorest of all of them, if I'm honest. And you guys know me, I make every excuse under the sun for Martinelli. Love Martinelli, man, but I think he was quite woeful. And I don't think anyone can disagree with the gaffer here, if I'm completely honest. We scored, but then we had 3 minutes in deep, so passive, really poor defensive habits. 3 minutes in deep. So is that the gaffer saying, why did you lot do that? I didn't do that. When they're on me for micromanaging, I hold my L, but why did you lot do that? Not acceptable for our level because we haven't conceded a single shot. The first time they do it, they scored a goal. That's the Premier League, which is true. But football's decided at both ends. So clearly we didn't defend well enough yesterday. And we definitely didn't attack well enough, individually and collectively. An hour to have a shot at home. An hour. For top of the league versus 20th. Regardless of, again, us knowing football, anything can happen and all that. Really? As I said, big up. Because when it went terrible, you still grabbed the 3 points. It needs to go up several decibels now, man. And the main thing is, get a bit of time of rest now, man. Like, because it is scaring me, man. It is scary. It is scary. It is scaring me defensively. It is scaring me. It is scary. The poor habits that I'm seeing, it is scaring me a bit. And every day someone's getting injured now, man. Every day someone's getting injured. It feels like a new series, a new series of the same kind of TV show. It's like we had a period of the season, couldn't pay our attackers to stay fit. Now every defender's dropping like flies. And to be fair for Benjamin White, it's disappointing. But you can't really say it's surprising, really, because that is the flip side of coming back from injuries. You start playing bare games, ball, your hamstrings gone, and it's upsetting, man, because we was obviously, big up you lot, that was part of the watch along. There's a part of my watch along where obviously we've given the ball away, and there's that segment where all the Arsenal players are darting back to go and, to try and prevent Wolves from scoring. And I made a joke, and I was like, obviously, I didn't know it was Ben White at the time. I was like, that's the kind of sprint backs that somebody gets injured from, or someone pulls their hamstring or something like that. 2 seconds later, boom. Now, that could have happened at any moment. Again, clearly, there's been a lot of minutes in the legs, but this is why you can't have too much depth. This is why, well, you're not telling me, oh, no, DG, we don't need another defender. Would you mean we need 2 centre mids? But hey, only December, just reach December. Think about everything. Let's just pray to God this is everybody stays fit, man. That's all we've kind of got. But you know what? 2 L's this season, 2 draws, bare W's. So if we're saying this at this point in time, you've got something to fight for, innit? Don't let it slip. And the 5-point gap has been restored. Again, people, we will be doing a watch along for Palace, Manchester City. We'll get into this in a sec, people. But I mean, it is difficult to break down these low blocks. It is. But again, I don't want to hear that. And I'm being fair, but I don't want to hear that because as anyone that understands football, we know how difficult it is, not just for us, but for other teams. We know it is. But at the end of the day, if we can't break these things down on a consistent basis, what are we doing here? We've known about this season, last season, for our own individual case studies. So I don't really care. It's you lot need to figure it out. Gaffer, coaching staff, you lot are the qualified individuals, players. You're fucking brilliant. Find a way. As much as we know how difficult it is, need to find a way on a more consistent basis. I don't care if you go long, if someone has a bit of individual brilliance. I did like, if I'm honest though, and again, Gaffer, regardless of Benjamin White's injury, maybe there still should have been a bit more, being devil's advocate. But you look at our shape a bit. Now, we probably tried to confuse that back three, their back five, if I'm completely honest with you. Obviously, Gyökeres is acting like a battering ram of sorts. Oh, what's going on here? What's going on here? Oh, we're back. I did like it because on paper, you would have thought Timber. On paper, it looked like that, innit? It looked like that. obviously not to scale people, but it looked like that was the back four we was going to see. You didn't see that yesterday, and I did think it was intriguing. Like when you factor in, they're obviously again, forget the numbers to scale thing, man. Like if we just put their back five or back three and however you want to rank it, man. Like you can say it's a five, it's a back five because it does drop into that. You can say it's five in midfield. Bob's your uncle. I don't really care what you want to say, people, but obviously, as much as I'm critical about breaking down low blocks, and it is easier said than done, and credit to Wolves and Rob Edwards because there was a lot of positives from that performance for them to take. And naturally, because of the Arsenal-centric focus, no one's going to really talk about that. And to be honest, Wolves fans don't really care about that either because end of the day, never got 3 points, and they're fighting for their lives, people, essentially. Again, I did like it because you actually had Timber popping up everywhere. What's going on there? Can you lot still hear me before I start waffling? Like and subscribe. I hope you can. You had Timber popping up everywhere. You obviously had Hincapié doing that. You'd have Martin. On occasion, you'd have literally, overloads as Martinelli goes inside. Benjamin White's role was interesting as well, either making the underlap or the overlap, and where Saka's getting on the ball. And you know what? At a point, Eze's floating. Eze, I think I got a bit more from you in this latter stages of the second half. Of course, Gyökeres is occupying. He's a sacrificial lamb, tired him out. And you have the runners. You had Zubamendi collecting the ball and whatnot. And you probably, at one point, it was weird because I think we started positive down the left. Then it became non-existent. Then it was mainly down the right. But that's just a little side note. That's kind of irrelevant from what we're talking about. Should we see what Saka's had to say, folks? We missed Calafiori overloads to create havoc. We did. Big up Miles Lewis-Skelly as well. Thought he added something. And I do think it was a spanner in the works because nobody factored in Ben White coming off. But Arteta, I believe in you a lot. There still should have, when Skelly's come on and we've kind of reverted back to type, owing to not having Calafiori and what's happened with Benjamin White and where Timber's having to be utilised, should have seen a lot more. We had enough in us. Before I look at Wolves and all that stuff, that should have been everyone each game. I should be talking about Gyökeres got a brace and Saka assist and Rice done this and Saliba's come back and scored a header. Maybe someone Bandulu like Hincapié scores. Should be the FPL teams we should have been eating. Maybe it's because the sun weren't shining. Shout the subs as well if I didn't make that clear. It was an amazing feeling, to be fair. I didn't know why Gabby wasn't celebrating. I thought he scored, but I think it was an own goal. Still, it was an amazing feeling to win it in the last minute. It's been us that have conceded in the last minute on a few occasions this season. So tonight, it's nice that we're on the other side of it. That shows the character that we have, and we're not going to give up. We're not going to give up to the end. Also, at the Emirates, we need to make teams understand that coming here is going to be tough. I think we've shown that this season, and we've shown that again tonight. The one thing I would say, Arteta, one thing that's impressed me since you've moved to Arsenal Football Club, you've been big about the fans and the atmosphere and things like that. And Arsenal fans, we've never been, let's have it right, Highbury wasn't exactly the loudest of stadiums. The atmosphere was much better. We missed that place and all of that. Arsenal at the Emirates has no problem getting up in moments where they need to lift the team, or the big games when the big European boys or the bigger teams in England are coming to town and all those things. It's electric. We finally got a good tifo now and all those things. But it's the games like Wolves. It's the normal kind of games where it's a bit topsy-turvy. The fans need to do their bit, but it's games like that where you also need to do your bit. You need to inspire the fans, really. If you're playing dull, they're going to move like it's dull. If you're doing nonsense, they're going to transmit nonsense. A two-way street. And I think the players need to understand that a bit more than everyone. So, yeah, it does show character. Obviously, I'm happy with the 3 points, but a bit disappointed with how we played and how the outcome was almost us dropping points, but we didn't. So let's take the points and move forward. Starboy, bang on the money. It's going to be nice. It's a really, really busy schedule. Credit to all the boys and the staff because we've been so intense, but we've been on it and we've had some amazing results. It's nice that we have a bit of a break, but it's not time to relax. It's just a time to reset a bit, then go again next week in training sessions and be ready for Everton. No one can disagree there. Come on, Palace, man. Do us a solid, man. So you see what the gaffer said? We'll see what the gaffer said. Sad day in my city, Sydney today, DG, but trust DG to brighten the mood. Apologies, King. Big up yourself. Sorry to hear that. What happened? What's going on in Sydney? We need a bet. We need to finish better. We need game management. Football's decided at both ends. We're not controlling game. We've got into this weird period. Let's be real. Where we've won games, and we've had games where there's been total control, but there's been a couple games we've not controlled the game state. This is why I said Liverpool's second half. Because, again, Szoboszlai free kick, you can have that view, and two truths can live in the same realm. But the tide was turning. We needed Arteta at the time to be a bit more proactive. You could see our players were a bit kind of spent. I'm being a bit Well, yeah, no, the first half kind of the same logic in the City game. I'm looking at these fine moments for the players and Mikel Arteta, Sunderland, because there's been periods we've actually looked good straight after half time. Indifferent other than that. Even the Newcastle game, which for me is the result of the season, and I love the fight and the determination, but gotta get reset, man. Gotta get back to those high standards, controlling the game state, being decisive at both ends. And that's for everyone. That's for the gaffer, that's for the players, it's for everything, man. What has he said in relation to the mood in the dressing room? It was a relief, but a very clear understanding that the margin should have been bigger. Hey, Arteta shouted at them. Smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't. He defo shouted at them. The margin should have been bigger. Not being precise enough in the first half with the amount of situations that we generated inside the opposition box. Facts, low quality half chances at best. So on one hand, Wolves did well to limit that, but again, I agree with that. We didn't do well enough. We didn't pick the right color of shirt on so many occasions. Again, sorry for hitting the mic. What did I say? Facts. You know, Arteta really definitely never says that. And he's quite a fair man, you know, because he does back these boys a lot, but the margin should have been better. Didn't generate well enough a bit, essentially, in the opposition's box. And picking the wrong shirts. Madness. We had to improve in the second half in relation to that. I think we did. We generated more chances, scored a goal. But after we had a period of 2 or 3 minutes in deep, totally passive, with horrible defensive habits, that is nowhere near the level that is required against a team that hasn't had a single shot. Arteta's on them. This is why I said I can't believe they're not doing the All or Nothing documentary this season, man. They would have that would have looked great when we win a trophy in May. That would have been a great episode. Arteta is setting up Eze for failure at right 10. Bit harsh to say setting him up for failure, man. And Eze, I can't lie, you're good enough to play everywhere. To be fair, he's had good moments playing down the right. For failure at right 10. And because Rice is high up on the left, Eze has to stay on the right. It's too predictable and one-dimensional. These low blocks make our defenders, the players with the most touches, really frustrating to watch. Well, that's a bit sad, but I have no faith in the manager. We should have a 10-point lead. The 10-man Chelsea game is the height of absolute cowardice. If we can get Luis Enrique in before Christmas, full send. Are we screaming? Are we not going to be launching balls into the box or just pass it around? On one hand, you do have to be there needs to be balance. We need to keep that, but we only on a handful of times have I seen us really got the gears looking like we're going to score collectively, because Saka is on that. Watching this Wolves performance and John Cena tapping out, I almost cried myself to sleep. John Cena tapped out in wrestling. I haven't watched wrestling since I was a child. Yeah, he call it a day, man. What I don't get is we know the side-to-side system don't break down low blocks, but we keep playing it every time. Arteta's got a pattern up, man, in that regards. I really don't like the reliance on our low block. Some people suggest Skelly and Wanyeri should go on loans. We need everyone with injuries that can happen. Remember Gabriel last season against Palace, same issue. It's tough at the top. People want the league to be a cakewalk, which is true. Because I do think rivals, they because they thought we were going to lose, like they're mad onto us. Like they want us to sit there and dissect all these performances. But we won, bro. We internally at Arsenal know what we need to do, but we're not going to sit here and explain ourselves to you lot. Big up my 3-point debt collectors. It's tough at the top. People want the league to be a cakewalk. At this point in the season, the struggling teams have appointed new managers. Nothing is a given. We win. Trust the process, yo. You're going to pee people off with the last bit there. Can we get to 100 likes? DG, it's Teta. The tactics are not fun to watch, and it's killed our attacking football. Teta fumbled Aubameyang. He started Merino at Villa, false 9. He can't play attacking football, Premier champs or go. From dreaming about beating Chelsea's record to letting the 20th team keep the ball for them to score goals. If you thought we was getting that record, it's crazy. Yeah, because MA runs the players into the ground, DG, something is up. They're not going to put the players out there if they don't believe they're fit, yeah, but boy, a man said, am I getting paid by Arsenal? I wish, man. This analysis is biased. Maybe just a difference of opinion, or you're a bit dense. Like, by all means, criticize me, but don't try and do that paid actor bullshit, please. Thank you. Have you listened to what I've said? Because I'm giving credit where due, not giving credit where others, being quite critical, or you're doing something else. You know what? It's Sunday. Let's be respectful. Just please, yeah. I'm proud of myself, you know. That's growth, you know. That's actually growth. Have a fantastic day. Proud of myself, you know. Smash the like button. Proud of myself. Dear DG, uncomfortable conversations on Eze and Martin. Eze is more impactful for GA in Martin's position, and it's clear. Yeah, but Odegaard was better than him. So where we got, like, he was better than him yesterday. Moral of the story is, we need several players across the season, and this is why we need, Arsenal, in my image, I think we need players with a bit more inevitability, you know, because I like all of these players, and I know it's easier said than done, and it is without logic, but Salah in his pomp, Eden Hazard in his pomp. When we had Alexis, you know, you need a bit more. I think we need to start recruiting one of these. You need to kind of get these kind of level raises. I think we've got some good players. We need a couple more great ones, if that makes sense. So yeah, man, Arteta has been quite critical. Horrible defensive habits. That's nowhere near the standard required. Fair enough. The first time they had the opportunity to do it, they scored the goal. This is the Premier League. Unfortunately, we are relieved because we managed to score a goal at the end and go and win it. But we need to improve in that sense for sure. There's something very positive, but I don't want to put it down sometimes to, resilience and the goal. No, it's what happened before. We should have stopped the source before, and that's on us. But when I said that yesterday, when I said that against Aston Villa, people call me a hater. You have to give credit to Wolves and what they've done. I've watched the game when they played at Stamford Bridge, when they played at Villa, and how unlucky they were not to get a result. I knew that it wasn't going to be an easy game at all, but we made it even harder with what we did in the manner that we conceded the goals, and that's unacceptable. I think even Arteta's haters have to admit, that's probably Arteta's hardest freestyle post game. Like, that's probably the most honest thing some would say he's probably said in his tenure here. Can't disagree with that. Spitting. What we have to do now is reset. Give them 2 days; they can decompress a little bit, and then we have a long week that we can prepare. When we don't train, there are things that slowly deteriorate, and certain habits start to deteriorate because you don't train and use that opportunity to do so. Give everyone a boost, because we know that the Christmas period is often seen as season defining, and we want to be on top of it. So want to be good in Christmas. That's telling me that, you know what, physically as well as mentally, you have 2 days off, recharge a bit. It's been a heavy kind of period. People do say Arteta runs the players into the ground on the pitch and they're within their rights. Off the pitch, we don't know, but people say what's going on with the training methods, right? And we have also heard the gaffer sit there and say we've not had the ability to train, so it's something else. That tells me we need a couple more days on the training ground. Sunday league, you lot need to defending outnumbered, following runners, back to proper basics. There's no sound systems, blaring out Anfield music. It's back to basics. We need to get good habits now, if I'm honest. And I hope you, again, like he said there, stopping the source. 2 weeks in a row now, haven't stopped the cross well enough. Kind of gone to sleep. Couple players are stepping up. Couple people are retreating. Kind of conceded near enough an identical goal in the last 2 weeks, if I'm brutally honest with you. So yeah, man, we have to do better. Learn from it and then move on. Every time you win in the Premier League, you should be happy. You should be conscious of the difficulty of it. But we made it even harder for ourselves today. And that's the big lesson that we have to do. When the opponent merits something, that's fine. And they did a lot of things to make it difficult for us. But that's one of the things that I don't know. We should make sure that we improve on how we can avoid defending deeper. No, it's deeper. And then we have the ball in the hands of the goalkeeper and we don't play. We just kick it. This is on us. So that's us on decision making. So that's Raya. Why are you doing that, basically? And every other habit with all our team. We have to continue to play in that manner that we have to play. We can manage the result in a certain way, but it has to be on ourselves. Control the controllables. We can defend it because they commit a lot of players and there's a moment that you cannot press them. That's fine. But the level of activity in that block has to be very different to the one that we had. On Ben White's injury, exactly that. Obviously, he hasn't played a lot of minutes because of the previous knee issue that he had. And the moment he started to get some momentum, he had to play a lot because we didn't have any other solution. You see why, yeah? Big up the academy. I'm not criticizing, but as much as I love Bukayo Saka, Wanyeri, Miles Lewis, Skelly, Dowman, the Starboys, this is where we need to bring through a couple more defenders, just some steady eddies, man. Tyreek Mitchell type guys that just humble right back would have helped us. And if you had Mascari, could have thought, Mascari's injured as well. Pardon my language on this fine Sunday. People smash the like button. You have to get on with it. Okay. Oh, what's he said here? We had to even risk Willow today because probably it wasn't their best call to play 90 minutes because we were buying tickets for another injury. So we had to take the risk, but boy, I'm getting a bit nervous, Thankfully, we're not playing for a week. But we don't have anybody else, but that's bad news for sure. It looks like a hamstring, so we don't know the extent of that, but probably tomorrow or the day after we'll know more. So yeah, Ben White, not seeing you for at least, hopefully 2 weeks. Probably a month, innit? Probably out of the December period. By God's grace, I hope I'm wrong. Not a physio. Ben White would be pushing to be back fit, but pardon me, between now and January, some difficult games. Got to buck Aston Villa, got to play Liverpool, got to welcome Man United. Like, got a lot of games, man. Might have to dip into the market. I don't know for loans and all these things, but the phone book's got to have to come out, man. That's for sure. On not having a shot on target in the first half, unacceptable for a club as good as us, because we didn't pick out the right color of shirt. When you have a 3 meter, normally we put the ball not on target and go. We put it out. And time and time and time again. It's frustrating, yes, but this is the game. But I expect to hit the right color. You have to hit the back post every time at this level. And today we haven't done it. So we started to make things more difficult for us. I don't know. Before Brentford, I called everybody at 7:30, and today was a late kickoff. I forgot to say that. But at the end, we have to completely do the game if we want to get that as well. There's nothing to question our supporters. It has to come from us. In the last minute, everyone was cheering and jumping up in their seats. That's normal and understandable. Hopefully, we can do it from the first minute. I can't lie. I'll tell you, you kept it chill today, man. You're as vexed as us. You got to take some responsibility, but fair enough. Like, can't ask the fans for more. We needed to do more. We're picking out the wrong passes. You know what? Big up the gaffer for that. Full gas has to be there from minute 1 to 96. And to be fair, you did mention that full gas stuff before the game. There were moments that we tried without being very, very efficient and probably not as clinical as we should be in defining moments. But I don't think it's on purpose. But there were moments in the second half after scoring the goal. But that's not what we want. That's for sure. We have to improve. Yes, we do, man. Yes, we do. Bukayo Saka is the only Arsenal player to contest 10 plus duels in the Premier League game and win 100% of them across the last 10 seasons. He also had more touches in the up box 6, created more chances for, and completed more take-ons 3 than any other Arsenal player versus Wolves. This is why I can never talk on my guy. When it's clutch moments, you're on this. Been carrying us since you was a bloody left back, mate. Boy, yesterday still that hasn't sunk in. Like we conceded the last minute equalizer and then found another goal. And to be fair with you, I'd love to even know what I'd love to see both changes. I'd love to see what Wolves are saying as well. Arsenal's first shot on target came in the 66th minute, people. Our longest wait for a shot on target in a Premier League game since January 2019 versus Cardiff. Saka's good, man. Gyökeres had fewer touches and completed fewer passes than any other player in the first half versus Wolves. Limited player with limitations. Put him in conditions, he'll thrive. And you need to do a bit more. We've gone over the Ben White thing. It is what it is, man. But at the end of the day, we won. Crazy last 20 minutes there, innit? Crazy last 20 minutes, man. 3 goals in 20 minutes. Dark. To be fair, Arteta mentioned again that our players are not finding him quick enough, but there comes a point where you have to make your own choices. And that's where that's where I think we're at with Gyökeres. Was that the type of game to drop Zubi and play Eze and Odegaard from the start? Nah, I don't think so, you know. Or deluded fans with that we could have brought this or that player's nonsense. We have to deal with what we've got now, man. Gyökeres is playing on the shoulder. In that type of game, he's going to do nothing. As most teams are sitting back, he's going to have lots of low-touch games. Simple. Yeah, but let's create some more. Let me tell you this. It's rare, as in barely happens, where a team wins a league without a standout attacker who plays at PFA level. You need one man to really rise our attack. What watch-alongs are we doing? We're here for Crystal Palace City in just under 20 minutes. So, yeah, big up yourself. Hope to see you all there. I thought Trossard was quality when he came on. I think all the subs ain't got smoke for you. You did what you needed to do. I think all the subs were positive. I told you, DG, I'm going to go down to the Emirates and look for the receipt from Sporting. I can't take it anymore. DG, we needed that win. Facts. Arteta has to figure out how to attack centrally. You got the players, man. As I keep saying, it's like you've gone to the designer store, you bought the designer clothes. Now you need to swag it out, innit? Switching back from the formation that smashed Spurs and buying in the same game was a mistake. If you sold your Jesus stock, stay on that side, fam. People laughed at me when I said he'd get 15 GA, and now you man want to gas him up. King, you're my guy. I'm here for the Jesus take. I don't know about 15 GA, my boy. I don't know about that. I'm with you. We're taking it too far, though, man. You're taking it too far. By God's grace. But I'll believe it when I see it. Jesus saying on nothing. Don't bread when he does his thing. Saka carried yesterday 2 assists by any means necessary. Arteta isn't the manager that will win us the Prem. In my opinion, any other manager with this team we have right now would do better. It's got to prove you wrong then, innit? We'll have to see in May. This whole season is about results, not performances. 3 points and we move. I hear it. DG, call Timber to stop hijacking headers from Gyökeres. Timber did it yesterday again. Maybe don't rate his team. I know they want it bad, but why do they look like they couldn't care less? How can they not be motivated to smash Wolves at home scared? I disagree with that. I can't accuse my players of not looking like that. The performance and stuff, but I can't say my players and anyone involved didn't care. Them tabs don't allow me, man. We had a lot of things to cover. And come on, man. Horrible guy, man. Horrible guy. Jesus in FPL, I thought I did a madness when I saw the golden notification. There was a content creator that said Jesus would get 15 GA in the league last season. I hold my L. And what? You what? Am I the first brother to back someone? I backed it. Cool. The new one is Jesus left wing. So what? You ain't never backed a player before? It's easy for you to say. We need a refund from Sporting. Nah, let's said that. Gyökeres is going to convince you, lot, man. Them 10 goals this season in the Prem, they're going to be special, man. They're going to be special. Gyökeres, get me 12. Get me 12, man. Get me 12. Get me 12 and a strong end to the season, and I can gas it up for next year. Buy another striker as well. But striker, left wing, 2 centre mids. Since 23 season, all our attackers' numbers have gone down year on year. We have offensive issue. Our attack is poor. Talent is not being maximized. The one positive I can say about Glock 14 was his turn and shot just wide. Nearly scored from nothing. Hopefully, he started to realize he has to create for himself too under this system. I hope so. Jesus is never getting 15 GA in this life or next. Damn. It's one Jesus. Go tranquilo, Jesus Christ. Look at this. Come on. Boy thinks he does something there. Not a player issue. We have the talent. Wolves were excellent. Shut us down. We had no idea what to do. This is a poorly coached team offensively. That's all there is to it. We are poor offensively. But and humor me, people. What? Is Lacazette better than Gyökeres? I asked this yesterday. Did you see the picture of MA kick off as the last minute winner went in? Yeah, he looked vexed. MA is vexed about the Martinelli missed opportunity. Martinelli, I can't lie, man. I love the fact that you're getting into the areas, but you got a bag, my boy. And you've been doing well of late. Like the header could have done a lot better. There was one where he's kind of tried to half volley it like Nelly, man. If you're a player and you want to get away with poor performances, come to Arsenal because some of our own fans will blame the manager and his system for your obvious poor performance. Keep smashing the likes if you haven't, people. Eze putting in performances that Odegaard gets cooked for, except it's worse because Odegaard tries. Eze just floats around doing nothing. Everyone's onto everything, man. The most embarrassing thing was we were parking the bus against 2-point Wolves with a 1-0 lead. When you put it like that, it's horrible, you know. Big up yourself, Charles, man. Best of luck to the lad, man. Hopefully he scores. No Arsenal player performed well. I couldn't think of a man of the match. They better fix up next week. You're lying, Saka. You're lying. You're lying. DG, you know you've made it when you get that anything I disagree with is a Saka folk in the chat. To be fair, DG, both Eze and Odegaard are shying away from responsibility. Only Saka and Leao trying to be difference makers. Bro, they both got to pattern up. Let's be real. It's fair. They're both talented lads. But across a 38-game season, fair weather, guys. You're part of that contingent. Obviously, everybody's part of it. But who do you really think for the majority? Obviously, it's not going to be 30 games, but 30 or 38 games really are going to have top performances. Saka's going to be up there. Timber's going to be up there. Saliba's going to be up there. Magalhaes is going to be up there. Rice is going to be up there. Have I said Saka? I don't know. Saka's going to be up there. Then you'd have some guys that are going to be good. You know, Ben White's going to be good, potentially. Odegaard, you're going to go through moments. Martinelli, moments. Trossard, we're seeing it, but historically, moments. You're going through moments. So, yeah, man, we need our attackers to step up. 100%. But we've got a good platform. It's what we do with it now. I like Rice as a right centre mid, but Arteta disagrees. I'd rather see Eze cutting in from the left and shooting. Declan is not clinical on the edge of the box. Oof. Sure. If Enrique's available, they have to try and get him. Boy, I might, but just cool, man. Just cool, man. There'll be a time for that. Word, DG. Arsenal ain't the only team that deal with low blocks. City and Liverpool been dealing with it for years. If your best lower ops, low block, it's nothing new. Teta deal with it. I don't want our opponents to do us a favor. Handicap, you're on me. You almost caught me. David Raya got caught on the ball. I gave away a corner. You almost caught me. No, let me make it specific. I'm on this agenda thing. I'm on hate watching. I just want to see all my ops fail. Crystal Palace are playing the pagans who are fighting us for a title. I use the term do us a favor loosely. You're on genuinely hoping and all of that. I'm just here for the bants, mate. You almost got me. Boys, say rioting. I got caught on the ball. Boys. Fix up. Oi. Oh, gosh. Massacre on Bondi Beach. Fucking hell. Pray for Sydney and Australia and their families. Bloody hell, man. This world is mad, you know. Every other day, there's something crazy that you can't fathom. I should have watched Sunderland versus Newcastle, but Palace City, man. We'll keep an eye on both. We'll keep an eye on both. We're live on for that in 10 minutes. Honestly, I think we need to go out and splash the cash for Semenyo in Jan. As someone who watched him at Bristol City, I can tell you the solution to our creative problems. Buy him, but other teams are probably going to go for him. But I just wonder whether you are City, Liverpool, United, Chelsea, anyone who wants Semenyo, whether some need him more than others. From January, in like 6 months, he's going to be cheaper. What is it? 65 million if you want him in January. It drops to around 50. Got to remember, clubs look at it from that perspective. They're not looking at it from a fan point of view. All of them, like us, like he would make us better. Da, 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 da. There's all other things and financial accounting years and all that crap to continue with. Semenyo's gone off the boil a bit, though. I'm having him, though. And I wouldn't cry if we made it happen. The performances over the past games is cause for concern. The lack of attacking fluidity persists. Saka dragged the team across the line against 20th place, 2-point Wolves. Odegaard had 3 moments where he was in shooting positions and threw them all away by taking 38 unnecessary touches. Sell this guy to Barca if they're genuinely interested. You're horrible. I think Odegaard is cooked. When was the last time he won a game for us? Odegaard is sneaking stinkers and getting away with it. 100 touches before releasing the ball to the wrong player because all the good runs before was offside. I think Eze would have a tap pin if Martinelli didn't lock his brain and shoot when he finally beat the right back. I'm not going to lie, there was a moment, yeah. For the life of me, I can't remember who nicked the ball. I actually think Lewis Skelly kind of won the ball and he dispatched it. And then I think somehow it's ended up with Martinelli. Rice is breaking down the left. Eze's there. I think Gyökeres is there. Saka's there. Martinelli, like, you've got bare options. Like, if you're going to play it to Rice, which he eventually did, and it was kind of dead from that point, you got to play it quicker. You got to play it quicker. It's those moments, and you're seeing that too many times last night. Even in an alternative universe, if Martinelli takes them half chances and a couple others, the game's on its head because the goals are flooding in. Whatever Wolves' game plan is, it's out the window. So, yeah, where would we be without Saka? We'd be cooked, man. Love Jesus, but that run and shot at the end sums him up. Brilliant work just to pass it to the keeper instead of banging it. Just not a killer like that. I know the one you're talking about because I think in the watching, like I said, that's the Jesus we that one love. Gyökeres is getting bare smoke. I think he's the only guy. Martinelli must be sold in January or later summer. You're bugging if you want Donny sold in January. Can't be selling people. Got a squad. There's been bare injuries. See, we need to be adding to shit. Martinelli is just not good enough. Gyökeres is on fraud watch. Eze, Rice, poor. Still Arteta out and sitting back against Wolves is disgrace. Dang. We ain't getting anywhere with this. Play the ball to Saka all the time. Play wide and just do useless passes. Just put a cross in. Like I don't even bag against French farmers, dead. So what? Well, hear me out. Aubameyang in January. Jamie Vardy. Scott McTominay. I'm thinking mad things. It's all banks. Jesus actually cooks on the wing. You should have run that from the start, DG. No, don't do that. I've been screaming, Gabriel Jesus, left wing. We're going to be here. That was one of my hot takes for the season. We are going to... I'll give it 5 games max, if that. I don't know how long Jesus can stay fit, but Jesus, Gyökeres, and Saka, I know there's going to be a game at the Emirates you're going to cook. Eze and Odegaard, scumbag some assists and get these Arsenal fans off your back, man. You lot are onto every player now. Every one of them. We will need much more to win the title. Teams with strong physicality or those that find low blocks are kryptonite, boy. Nah. Rajman's Hoyland, you're bugging now. It's down to 60 in the summer. Fair enough. We need a proper alternative to Odegaard in Jam. We're not doing that, though, man. We're not going to buy one of those other guys. It's beyond the players. We just don't have offensive schemes. All we do is pass to Saka, pass around the right. That's not good enough. Everyone follows suits with no idea. Our attack needs to hold all the smoke. Arteta 2, Raya, Rice, Gabriel, Saliba getting let down so bad. Boy, you man think I mind if it's past to Saka, and inshallah, we need one of those players right now. I hope Saka keeps up those performances. I think Jesus can be a valuable contributor, but it's the injuries. Gabriel Jesus, left wing, is cash money if he stays fit. He's got to stay fit. Left wing, it can bang. At some point, though, I did think Arteta in the first half might have even made a sub put Eze left wing. Bit harsh, mate. Bit harsh. People, I'm just aware of time, people. We're going live in 6 minutes. 5, 6, 6, 7 minutes, people, actually. It's watch along business. So let's hope Crystal Palace, word for handicap, do us a favor. As usual, win, lose, or draw. It's pleasure to be here with you lot. So yeah, man, catch you on the next stream. Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you lot. Love you lot. DG Nation. It's been a great 2025 and we need to keep it moving. To the next one.
always just going to attack with them, like, defending.
I think it's like